23 minutes past 7. Sadly, it's become an all too familiar scenario. The phone goes, it's a cold caller asking you for money. Now, the fundraising tactics used by some of the biggest charities are being questioned after an undercover investigation by the Daily Mail.
Yeah, we're used to them, aren't we, from PPI companies and surveys.
Insurance companies had a car accident.
But when it's charities, it feels wrong. A reporter got a job at a firm which makes cold calls to people who had already asked to opt out of cold calls. And workers were trained to use apparently manipulative techniques and even encourage vulnerable people to donate.
Given why we're calling and who we're calling for, they have got no excuse to say no.
Yeah.
I just need to work out how much.
How much?
And I almost feel outraged when they don't.
Very good reason. He's 91, he knows all about the world. Yeah, you're currently helping us with a wonderful gift of
£12.
£12. But then always follow their eyes. So will you increase that to £24 because you have to remind them again?
Right.
You can really hit it hard.
It's hard to watch, isn't it? The main charities involved, the British Red Cross, Macmillan and the NSPCC, have all expressed their concern at what that film shows, but all say they follow guidelines set out by the relevant authorities.
Meanwhile, Oxfam say that they have suspended telephone fundraising activity while the charity makes sure that regulatory standards are met. The call centre, GoGen, has suspended 2 members of staff, but has also said it does follow guidelines issued by fundraising standards bodies.
Marilyn Baldwin's mother was plagued by cold callers. She now campaigns against it. Good morning to you, Marilyn.
Good morning.
I would imagine that what you've seen in this report and the Daily Mail investigation is no surprise to you at all.
It's no surprise whatsoever. I mean, this has been going on now for years, and thankfully now the Daily Mail have exposed this, and hopefully now something's going to be done.
You appeared on this programme. Of course, we've talked to you a number of times, haven't we, Marilyn? But you received huge reaction after appearing on the show after the death of Olive Cook, the 92-year-old poppy seller who was apparently hounded by charities for more money. What sort of response did you get when you talked to us about it then?
Well, the thing, Jessica Charity helps victims of scams. Obviously, we know we're not calling these charities scams, but the techniques that they're using are very similar to boiler room scams. And we got loads of emails from relatives saying that this kind of thing that had happened to Olive was happening to their relatives, to their grandparents, to their parents. And people are just outraged, really, I think, that it's been going on for so long. It's not a new problem. It's just something that's been let slip under the radar for years.
Even though you campaign against it, do you get cold called by charities?
I've actually had one myself, and to be honest, the techniques that they use, the psychology used is very, very good. It's very powerful. It's a bit like an auction. They ask you if you can donate a certain amount of money per month. When you say you can't, they start lowering the amount that you can subscribe. And then they get lower and lower. And in the end, you actually feel like, I'm going to be really mean if I say no. You know, they've told you who you'll be helping, what difference you can make. So it becomes very personal. And I can understand why older and vulnerable people in particular can be forced, which is what they are being done, forced to make these donations. The techniques, like I say, are very similar to those used by scammers.
You've set up a charity to help people deal with situations similar to this, Marilyn, so you know all about it. What would you like to see done?
Well, obviously, more regulation needs to be done, but I think now charities have got to start backing off. You know, selling donor lists on to other charities. I mean, what's that about? You know, if somebody's kind enough to donate to a particular charity, that should be anonymous. They shouldn't be sharing that information with other charities so they can try and get a bite of the cherry as well. I think they've now got to start respecting the fact that people will give if they've got money. If they haven't got money, then just keep the pressure off them. We all know what charities are out there, and we all know there's various animals, children, whatever, that need helping. But, you know, we're not all in that position. Not everybody's in the same position. They can't all give to everything that's needy. So I think the charities now got to start backing off and keep the donors anonymous, not sell the lists on.
Marilyn Baldwin, thanks so much for joining us again this morning from the Think Jessica campaign. It's interesting, we were saying, weren't we, whether this might backfire for the charity. A number of people getting in touch this morning. Kira Keenan says, I had several telephone calls from a well-known charity asking for an increase in my donation. I said no several times. The caller said, can you increase by just £1? Come on, it's only £1. Now, she says, I used to have several regular donations. I got so fed up, I cancelled them all.
And that's just what Marilyn's saying. Is it like an auction that goes down and down and down until you feel guilty enough that you have to give them some money? Let us know your thoughts. You can get in touch on Facebook, Twitter or email.